months after I arrived in Germany, I was forced to part with over 500 euros. Check out how warm they are to foreigners. So, as you can already tell from the title of the video, I'm going to be talking about the things that I would do differently if I had to come to Germany again. So take this as an advice if you're yet to come to Germany, for example, and you're seeing this video, or you know someone who wants to come to Germany, then I think this is a great video to send to them. So you might want to take this as an advice from someone who has had 5 years of experience living in Germany. All right, now the first thing that I would do if I had to come to Germany again is actually to make a trip to the country that I would want to eventually settle in. But of course, this is only if you have the resources to do so. Like, if one has the resources to, I would strongly suggest that one goes to this country, whatever country that they want to eventually settle in, and just, be a tourist for a couple of weeks. At best, rent an apartment, see how life is with the locals around, eat their food, know how their culture is, check out how, warm, how receptive they are to foreigners, okay? And basically just do a vibe check. And if it's what you want, if it's what you like, then you can make plans to go for it. So this is something that at this age right now, if I want to move to another country, that is number one of what I'm going to do. Like, the very first thing on the list, I will literally go there and see things for myself, experience the culture myself for maybe a month, and then find out, do we vibe or not, before I make up my mind. The next point on the list would be to do a more thorough research. And when I say more thorough research, I'm not even talking about what people say or just off Google and everything, but rather try to consume more content online. Thankfully, right now, there are lots of content creators on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever. I would literally leverage on that opportunity and make as much research as I can. Still speaking of research, I would do more deep dive into things like insurance in Germany. You guys, 3 months after I arrived in Germany, I was forced to part with over 500 euros. And that's because of the fact that I went to the hospital without an insurance. I had a private insurance then because I wasn't enrolled in school at the time. And I went to the hospital and I didn't know that my insurance didn't cover that exact treatment. That was like MRI. I had the brain scan because I was having severe headache for weeks. This was largely due to the fact that, changing weather, changing environment and everything, there was nothing wrong with me. But that was how I parted with 500 and something euros, almost 600 euros that period. And the good thing is that this is Germany. You can always say you don't have all that money and you can pay it, Ratenzahlung, how do you say that? Instrumentally, okay? So I was able to pay instrumentally, but then just imagine arriving in Germany with a blocked account and you're trying to survive and everything, and you have to part with that amount of money every month. It wasn't even funny, and I hadn't even gotten a job then. So things like this, I would make more in-depth research about. Something else that I would do differently would be to document the entire process. And the reason for this is pretty simple. I mean, you get to look back at the journey so far. It's a beautiful thing. You get to see how much you have grown, see how much you have evolved. I think it's pretty amazing. So for those of you who are already doing that right now, for those of you who relocated recently and you're documenting the process, kudos to you, because that's a very smart thing to do. And just so you know, even if you're not a social media person and you don't put out stuff online, you don't have to do it for others. You can do it for yourself. Keep it, and someday, 10 years down the line, 15 years, 20 years down the line, when you have family, you can show them these things. And I feel like it's really going to be priceless, okay? Having to, walk down memory lane. Now, the third thing that I would do differently as well is to learn the language from day one. From day one, I knew that I was going to come to Germany, or rather, from day one that I know I'm going to come to Germany, I would start learning this language. Like, the only thing I did back then was just to, I have a journal where I wrote down, phrases in German language, how to say good morning, how to say how are you. And back then, it was like rocket science. I was like, God, I beg you. How am I going to learn this language? I had zero interest when I was in Nigeria. But upon arrival here, I told myself, girl, you gotta do what you gotta do, okay? And yes, I'm grateful I started immediately I arrived, but I wish I began earlier, much earlier. I feel like I would have gone farther than I have gone already. And also, I would not even, because to be honest, for me, I stopped my German classes because I wanted to start with my master's program. I even wish I paused the master's and finished my German up until a C1 or a C2. And right now, I'm done with my master's and I no longer have time for my German classes anymore. So if you're watching this video and you're considering moving to Germany, Oga, madam, start now. Even though some people do like using online apps like Duolingo, but these apps don't even cut it, okay? If you have the resources, I would strongly advise you to either find an online tutor who knows what they are doing, or go to an actual school in whatever country you find yourself in and learn at least up to an A1 or an A2. This will help you so that upon arrival in Germany, you won't be like a novice. Because when I came here myself, oh my God, I'm so thankful for my friend Estelle, who was able to show me around at the time that I came, because I couldn't even communicate in basic German. But thankfully, I had the chance to start like immediately I arrived, like 2 weeks or 3 weeks after I arrived. So I'm grateful for that. But man, I would definitely try to, like, you know, get up to the stage where I can make very simple phrases before I even enter the country, if I had to do this again. So let me know already, if you're watching this video, can you relate to any of the things I'm talking about? If you're in Germany, can you relate? Are there some things as well that you really wish you could do differently again if you had to return to Germany? Or if you're in another country, let me know as well. Are there things that you wish you would have changed, or you can change if you had the chance to? Let me know. The next point on my list is to research regional differences. So just like every other country, Germany has several regions, okay? For example, in the southern part of Germany, Bayern, for example, they have the different dialects from those in the eastern part of Germany or those in the western part of Germany. So choosing a region that is very friendly and open-minded to foreigners and has lots of job opportunities, both for students as well as, you know, new school leavers, and even cities, a city that has like a medium to low cost of living, especially for someone that just arrived and is here to find their feet, would be top on my mind. Now, upon arrival, the other things that I would do differently would be to explore the country, like explore Germany. Even though I'm not going to blame myself a lot for this, because when I arrived, it was barely 6 months and there was Corona, okay? So we were all on lockdown 6 to 8 months after I arrived. It was crazy. I didn't even get the chance to explore Germany. I didn't get the chance to do anything at all, like no social activity. It was really bad at the time. And also, I wouldn't sit down and wait to have a travel buddy before I go anywhere, or wait until my friend or my friends are available to travel with me. Like, I would embrace solo traveling earlier on. But if you're a woman and you want to travel solo anywhere in Europe or even around the world generally, please be very careful. Be very careful. Like, research on whatever city you want to travel to, whatever country you want to go to, just to be sure that you are safe. I beg. Very important. Like, solo trips are cool and everything, but be very careful, okay? But yeah, that's something that I would do. I would do lots of solo traveling, like if I could rewind the hands of time. Still speaking of trips, something else that I would do differently is to take a lot of trips around Europe. There are tons of cheap cities that one can visit on a budget, even as a student. And that is something that I wish I embraced back then when I just arrived. Like, your residency card is literally your Schengen visa. You can travel visa-free to any Schengen country in Europe. So if you're someone who loves to travel, if you're someone who loves to see new places, don't wait up on people. Girl, guy, buy your tripod and get a ticket and move. Don't wait for anybody, to be honest. Don't bother waiting for people, because they will hold you back. If you have the resources and you have the time, make that trip already, okay? The next on the list upon arrival for me is to make friends, like German friends, earlier on by joining clubs like Verein. Verein is like an association or associations in Germany. They have Verein for a lot of things. They have sports Verein. They have different things, like even people who just chill, like chill together to drink, chill together to knit, like with a wool and everything. They have such clubs for these kind of people, these kind of activities. If you think of any kind of activity in Germany, best believe me, there is a Verein for it. So I would have probably joined one sooner than later, even though I joined a choir upon arrival. But then the friends I made there are older friends who have been of immense help and blessing to me, to be honest, guys. Like, but I would have wished that I had like younger German friends, even though I have one. She's very special to me. You guys have met her before on this channel, but yeah, I really wish I was able to make more German friends earlier on, because I tell you, these guys are very helpful. Like, they would stand up for you when you least expect. It's very difficult to gain the trust of a German, but when they eventually trust you and like you, case closed, as a matter of fact. The next point would be to ask a lot of questions. Oh my god, Nothing is brought to you on a platter. No, nothing is brought to you on a platter in Germany. You have to ask your way around things. Like, if you don't ask, you wouldn't be told. That's how things work here, especially when it comes to benefits that are accrued to you or that could be accrued to you as an international student. And I'm talking about maybe language exchange club for students, or financial support given to students by the government or by the Caritas or charity in English. Sometimes as a student you get a price slash. So there are numerous advantages that you can get as a student, as an immigrant in Germany. But if you do not ask the right questions, you will miss out on so many of them. And that also highlights what I said previously about making friends with young Germans. They would also tell you these things, okay? Like, if you have 1 or 2 friends that are young Germans, studied here, and I mean, of course, you studied here, but then that are maybe your classmates or anything, they would also have such information that could be of help to you. And last but not the least, something else that I would definitely do differently is taking fitness more seriously upon arrival, because the tendency to add weight in this country abroad generally is very high, because then you have access to lots of processed food, quick foods, fast foods, and you can just like grab and move on the go. And if you're not very conscious about moving your body, you are going to add a lot of weight. So I really wish that I was able to, take fitness a little bit more seriously when I came, even though actually, to be honest, I had it in mind to enroll in a gym. But then, like I said, COVID came just before I was, stable enough to start putting my life together, and things began to happen. So guys, that's that for this video. I've come to the end of it, and if you stayed up until this point, then leave a comment and let me know which one can you relate to. If you're already living in Germany, which one as well would you love to do differently? If you find yourself in Germany or another city, another country, I would like to know. Let me know in the comment section, okay? And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, if you watched up to this point. Don't forget to stay subscribed to this channel and ensure to keep sharing this video, okay, so that the ministry keeps moving to the permanent site. All right, okay guys, I'm going to see you in the next one. Till then, take care of yourselves. Bye.